Hey there! Today we'll be looking at a pen that was supplied by Ron from the Pen Chalet, penchalet.com, and this is the Pilot Knight. Wow, that was reflective, but there we go, Pilot Knight. And this is a pretty fascinating little pen. Let me open up the sleeve. Comes in this sleeve box, and the box, I kind of like the box. It's simple. It says Pilot, and it is this sort of fake leather cover. I always smell it. No, it's not real leather. Okay, when you open it up and you get the pen is right there. There are slots for 3 pens, but you only get one. The Pilot Knight, Knight with a K. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to cover the parts of the pen, I'm going to tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then I'll do a writing sample. Alright, the first thing I notice is that it's a very heavy pen. It's all metal and it really has some weight, which is something that you may either like or not like. By the way, I'm not covered in blood, this is ink. Honestly, I didn't kill a ballpoint user. Anyway, so let's start at the top of the cap finial. You have this nice sort of clip mechanism in place there, and what is a particularly nice feature, I thought, is that it's cut at a slanted angle. I have a bit of a soft spot for those kinds of things. I like that, and the clip is actually a bit spring-loaded. You can see that mechanism moving a bit. Whoops, moving a bit there, which is nice. Okay, then you have the cap. The cap, the only thing that is on there is this nice matte, sort of brushed material. It says Pilot and Japan. A little center band, and there we have the barrel. And the barrel slowly tapers down to a finial that is reflective again. Okay, then the cap pops off, and you have a smooth plastic section, and then Pilot Medium. It says Pilot Super Quality, Japan M for medium. The cap is a slip cap, as I said, and the section, I found it fairly small. It's not a big one. The nice thing is that this really looks like the feed that you also see on the Pilot Metropolitan, and I'm fairly certain also the Pilot Plumix, which means that you may be able to switch around nibs, which is nice if you want an italic nib on this or something. Okay, we unscrew the pen. Then we have this aerometric converter. That's a fairly typical Pilot converter. We've seen that more often, the Pilot Parallel, for example, and the Metropolitan. Aerometric converters are quite nice. They hold a decent amount of ink. And you can also use cartridges if you so desire. Alright, screw that back in place. Here we have the pen. What do I like about it? What do I not like about it? Well, that weight is not for everyone. I wrote down it's 34 grams, which is not as heavy as some pens. I would say at 50 grams a pen gets really heavy, but you do notice the weight. This is not a Lamy Safari. It's definitely a whole different ball game from that when you hold it. That gives it a very robust and decent feel. So that's actually, I think, quite nice. But it's not for everyone. Some people really like lighter pens. I like the overall design, but I don't think there's anything here we haven't seen before. For example, I have reviewed Lamy Studio Palladium that looks a lot like this pen. You can think of the Schaefer 100, which looks a lot like this pen. Of course, there's the Pilot Metropolitan, which definitely has some traits in common. So I would say it is not necessarily the most unique design I've ever seen. The nib, it performs. It's a Pilot nib. It is a Japanese nib, so this medium, I would say, is closer to a Western fine. But it does what it's supposed to do. It writes well. It has a consistent ink flow. The only thing is it's on the fine side. So if you really want a broader nib, I would definitely go for a broad. Then you would probably get a medium. Or, as I said, go for a Plumix nib and put that on. Okay, final thing I'm going to remark is 2 things. One is the cap, the slip cap, is pretty easy to operate. So if you are a person who puts pens in your trousers pocket, for example, then expect this to open. It doesn't require a lot of pressure. Secondly, that section is really small. I can hardly hold it. The good thing though is there are no threads, so this metal bit is actually quite smooth, not very sharp. It won't really dig into your skin, which I think is a bonus. The pen does post, but it is really heavy when you do that because it's a metal cap on a metal barrel. But it's possible if you like it. Okay, so that's what I like about it. What I don't like about it, let's read some stats. It's 34 grams, as I said. The capped, it's 136 millimeters, that's 5.36 inches. Posted I have 5.66 inches, that's 144 millimeters, so 40.4 centimeters. Uncapped I have 4.58 inches, that's 11.7 centimeters. And the section diameter is about 0.33 of an, so about a third of an inch, 8.5 millimeters at the narrowest point, and 0.38 of an inch, so that is 10 millimeters at the widest point. Okay, I think that's more than enough talk. I think we need to see this pen in action. That's what we're going to do next. I hope this was useful. Ron, thanks for sending me this pen, and guys, I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye. Okay, so here we go, writing with the Pilot Knight. This is a medium nib, and the ink is Mont Blanc Permanent Grey. This is their 90th anniversary ink. Okay, let's do a bit of writing. I posted the pen on purpose because I wanted to see that, feel that weight again, but it is very heavy. It's really top heavy. It does feel very robustly made though. Okay, as to the writing, it is smooth. This is Clairefontaine paper, so it is very smooth, but the writing performance does seem to be quite nice. It's definitely a smooth writer. Okay, let's do some fast writing, see how well the nib keeps up. I really have to uncap it, otherwise I can't move it. Okay, there we go, so it gives a nice even ink flow, which I like a lot. As to wetness, this doesn't strike me as the wettest pen I've ever used. And it is a pretty fine nib. No, it's not particularly wet. As to line variation, you can squeeze out some, and being fairly fine, that helps. So my issue with this is that it's pretty fine, and I prefer a broader nib, but it does perform very well. It does give you a smooth writing performance, which I really like. And again, if you really want a broader nib, get the broadest size you can, because this medium, I think, is very close to Western Fine. So one thing you may want to know is that right now, it is July 2014, Ron of PenChalet.com has this pen on sale, and instead of $48, you pay $24. Which is half, which is not bad, because that brings this into the price range of a Pilot Metropolitan, and this is a really solid metal pen, so I think you may enjoy this. So if you're thinking of buying a Metropolitan, if you buy it from Ron, then you can get this at a very decent cost. So Ron, thanks for sending me this. Guys, I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.